What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Patreon. It is 12:28 p.m. here on the East Coast in the USA. It is January 24th of 2019. So Bitcoin, let's just hop in here to the 4-hour, I guess. Not much going on here. Actually, let's just back out of the 12-hour. Guys, we're just sitting right here in this critical support zone, right? I mean, this is like kind of a make or break zone if you want to think of it in that way. I mean, clearly we are on a downtrend here. I mean, that's pretty obvious, right? On a downtrend here, and we're just sitting right in the middle of the most critical support zone of the area right here. And as you guys know, if we do break below 3,500, I think we'll get a bounce and ultimately, find lower lows in the market. We had this, the ETF proposal was withdrawn yesterday. In this headline, I was just reading the headline, it says crypto market unfazed by latest ETF withdrawal, right? And that's true, right? The ETF was withdrawn, negative news, and the market didn't really react all that much, at least not yet. It might react soon, right? But, overall, what that shows me is that the market wasn't really expecting it. The market wasn't really expecting much out of this, right? At this point, people aren't expecting ETFs to be approved. I don't even think it's much of a disappointment anymore when an ETF doesn't get approved. It's most likely already priced into the market. So that's why, most likely we didn't get much of a reaction out of that. But guys, reactions to news and stuff like that, it doesn't have to be instant, right? It doesn't have to be instant. It can be delayed. It can be a pre-reaction or an after or post-reaction, right? It doesn't have to be instant. We could get a sell-off now based on that negative news, right? If you look at the shorts chart, right, the shorts are increasing, which shows me that, there's a little bit of negative sentiment now being created around this. Some people thinking like, oh, the ETF got withdrawn. Maybe I should short this, right? Thinking that the prices might go down, which they might, right? Which they might. I believe they will. I mean, there's no support here, guys. Volume is terrible. And the sentiment is not changing at all. And, as you guys know, I do think we're going to see lower prices in this market pretty soon. Of course, we need to retest the 3,100 area. Maybe we go to 3,200 something, right? We have to test this area first to see how the market reacts. But I don't think we're going to get much of a bounce, right? I'm listening to a lot of analysts out there and even people like Tyler Jenks and stuff. Like, they're drawing their fibs and they're like, oh, we have to get a 50% retrace, right? This is what Tyler Jenks was saying on Tone Vase's stream. They're like, yeah, I would think that we would get at least a 50% retrace, and it's like, what? Just because people who fib rely on the fib too much, right? Fibs are great, don't get me wrong, but you don't have to have a retrace of any kind. There's no requirement that you have to retrace. Not in this market, not in this environment at all, right? We could just continue to sell off and disregard everything, guys. This is a bear trend. The market there's a lot of negative sentiment here, guys. I see no reason why the market would just have to turn around and we would just see some epic rally, right? I see no reason for that at all. Is it possible? Absolutely. It is absolutely possible, but it's just the sentiment isn't there, in my opinion. It's just not there. More likely we're just going to be trading in this range for a bit. Who knows what's going to happen in the short term, but I think ultimately we are going to find lower prices in this market. And I think it's going to be sooner rather than later. A lot of people disagree with me, think that we're going to be, trading here for a while before. We'll see, guys. We'll see. But we are sitting at a super critical support level right now. Not many questions yesterday. Somebody was saying this FUD TV interview with Crown's viewpoints mirrors much of what Kevin speaks about. One thing he said was that I thought was interesting, that the market makers will buy into Bitcoin in areas that aren't expected. Yeah, I mean, guys, I was watching Crown's Crypto Cave, his stream today. I didn't really pay much attention to him before, but he's really good, guys. He's actually really good. Yeah, he was explaining how most likely the big players and the market makers are going to buy at unexpected levels. I mean, guys, at this point, I feel like everyone's expecting some level, right? You know, people are now expecting a double bottom. People are expecting 1,800. People are expecting 2,500. People are expecting 2,200. People are expecting 2,800, right? People are expecting like everything right now, guys. Everyone's just making guesses. And honestly, you know, we'll see, right? We'll see what happens, guys. But I'm still, obviously, I think that our consolidation zone is going to be most likely around the 2,500 area. This is what I would expect, guys. About $2,500. Could be a little under, could be a little over, but I'm thinking around $2,500. Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, we'll see, guys. At this point, I mean, if you compare it to the previous bear market, guys, you're going from like a little over 1,100 to 150, going from a little, you know, 20,000 to 2,500. It's a pretty comparable move, right? The reason, guys, I'm going to be quite honest. There's a couple reasons why back in February I made the prediction of 2,500. The first was I literally just took this you know, this price spread, this percentage, and I just kind of extrapolated it and just placed it over here. And I was like, yeah, it'd probably be about $2,500. But it wasn't that simple, right? I also thought to myself, I was like, this is something I've been talking about all year. You know, Bitcoin fundamentally hasn't changed. When you talk about the stock market and companies in the stock market, companies do different things. They get involved in different industries. The environment that the companies are traded in changes based on what the company is doing. With Bitcoin, it doesn't really fundamentally change. Yeah, you have like Lightning Network and all this stuff, whatever. But Bitcoin at its core, guys, it doesn't really change as a technology. Not much, at least. So the environment that it's traded in most likely won't change very much either. And that's kind of what led me to believe that we'll probably have a similar play out here. We'll probably kind of repeat rhyme history a little bit here. And that's kind of, you know, what led me to this prediction. And you know, it's not really all that complicated, guys, right? You just have to think logically. That's all it really takes. But, you know, who knows, guys? Maybe we have a little bit of a bounce here. I don't know. But I'm still expecting $2,500 to show up. And yeah, guys, that's about it for today. Not too much else to talk about. Just wanted to run a couple ideas by you. Sitting right at this critical support. And if we break below this, we could find ourselves at 3,100 pretty quickly. Or, I don't know, or we kind of just, you know, slowly bleed down. I mean, this is also a possibility, right? We just have some sort of slow bleed like this. Also a possibility. But that's going to be it for today, guys. Not too many questions yesterday. Yeah. All right, guys, ask questions, guys. I'm always here to answer questions. But that's going to be about it for today, guys. I will talk to you all very soon.